If you're over 60 and tired of living at the mercy of your blood pressure numbers, if you've tried everything and it seems like nothing really works, if you feel like you're losing the freedom to eat what you enjoy and live in fear of the complications that hypertension can bring, then this video was made especially for you. I know exactly what that feeling of helplessness is like when you go to measure your blood pressure and the numbers keep staying high, even when you take your medications exactly as prescribed. I know how frustrating it is when the doctor says to eat less salt, but doesn't explain exactly what to do day by day. And especially, I know how distressing it is to think about the future and the possible consequences that high blood pressure can bring to your health and your family. But today I have very good news for you. There are 3 specific foods, scientifically proven, that can help people over 60 control their blood pressure naturally and safely. These foods aren't miraculous or impossible to find. In fact, you've probably already seen all of them at the grocery store, but never knew the power they have when consumed correctly. What's most interesting is that these foods work in different ways in our body, attacking the main causes of high blood pressure in seniors, and results can start showing in just a few weeks. If you've made it this far, it's because you really want a real solution for your high blood pressure, so I need to ask you something very important. Subscribe to our channel now, because here you won't find miracle recipes or empty promises. What you'll find is information based on science, explained in a simple and practical way, so you can actually apply it to your life. Hit the notification bell too, because every week I bring new content specifically aimed at people like you who want to age with health and quality of life. Our channel is a community of people who believe it's possible to live well after 60, controlling blood pressure naturally and maintaining independence. So, if you want to be part of this family that's transforming their own health, subscribe now and let's go on this journey together. Before talking about the 3 foods that can transform your blood pressure control, I need you to understand something fundamental about hypertension in people over 60. As we age, our blood vessels naturally lose elasticity, become more rigid, and this makes the heart need to work harder to pump blood. Additionally, the kidneys, which are responsible for regulating the amount of fluid in our body, may also not function with the same efficiency as when we were younger. That's why blood pressure control in seniors requires a specific approach, designed for our body's needs at this stage of life. The 3 foods I'm going to present today work exactly on these issues. They help relax blood vessels, improve kidney function, and provide specific nutrients that our body needs more after age 60. The first food might seem surprising to many people, but it has impressive studies showing its effectiveness. The first food that can revolutionize your blood pressure control is beetroot. I know many people wrinkle their nose when we talk about beetroot, but when you know what it can do for your blood pressure, I'm sure you'll want to include it in your diet immediately. Beetroot is rich in natural nitrates, which are compounds that, when they reach our stomach, transform into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is like a natural relaxant for blood vessels. Imagine your vessels like garden hoses. When they're contracted and rigid, water comes out with a lot of pressure. But when they're relaxed and flexible, water flows smoothly. That's exactly what nitric oxide from beetroot does to your blood vessels. A study published in the British Journal of Nutrition followed people over 65 who consumed beetroot juice daily. In just 3 weeks, there was an average reduction of 7 millimiercs in systolic pressure, which is the first number in blood pressure. It might seem small, but this reduction is enough to significantly decrease the risk of heart problems and strokes. What's most interesting is that beetroot's effect is fast. Studies show that blood pressure starts to drop between 2 to 3 hours after consumption, and the effect lasts up to 12 hours. For people over 60, this is especially important because it offers more stable control throughout the day. Now, I'll teach you the most effective way to consume beetroot to control blood pressure. The best way is through juice, because this way you concentrate a larger amount of nitrates. You can make raw beetroot juice by blending it with a little water and straining. The ideal amount is 250 ml per day, which equals 1 medium beetroot. But I understand the taste might be strong for some people. In this case, you can mix it with apple or orange juice to make it tastier. Another option is to steam cook the beetroot and consume it as a salad or meal. Accompaniment. When cooked, it loses some nitrates but still maintains important benefits. A valuable tip is to always consume beetroot at the same time, preferably in the morning, to maintain a pattern of nitrate absorption. It's important for you to know that beetroot can make urine more reddish in color, and this is completely normal and harmless. Some people get scared, but it's just the natural pigment from beetroot being eliminated by the body. The second food that can transform your blood pressure control is garlic. You might have already heard that garlic is good for blood pressure, but I bet you don't know exactly how it works and what's the correct way to consume it to get real results. Garlic contains a compound called allicin, which is released when you cut, crush, or chew a garlic clove. Allicin has vasodilatory properties, meaning it helps blood vessels expand, allowing blood to flow with less resistance. Additionally, garlic also acts as a mild natural diuretic, helping the kidneys eliminate excess sodium and fluid from the body, which contributes to reducing blood pressure. A very interesting study was conducted with 210 people with high blood pressure, with an average age of 62. Half the group consumed aged garlic extract daily for 12 weeks, and the other half received placebo. The results were impressive. Now, the group that consumed garlic had an average reduction of 10 millimerics in systolic pressure and 5 millimerics in diastolic pressure. What most caught the researchers' attention is that garlic also improved blood vessel flexibility, something extremely important for people over 60. To obtain garlic's benefits in blood pressure control, it's not enough to simply season food. With garlic, there's a specific way to prepare it that enhances its effects. First, you need to crush or chop the garlic clove and let it rest for 10 minutes before consuming. This time is necessary for allicin to be formed through the chemical reaction that happens when garlic is broken. You can consume 1 medium garlic clove per day, always following this process. A practical way is to crush the garlic with the side of a knife, chop it very finely, let it rest for 10 minutes, and then mix it in a salad or consume with a little olive oil and bread. Another option is to make garlic paste. Crush several cloves. At once, let them rest and store in the refrigerator in a glass jar. This way, you can consume a teaspoon per day. If the taste is too strong, you can mix it with honey, which besides sweetening, also has beneficial properties for the cardiovascular system. The important thing is to maintain regularity, consuming daily at the same time. I need to pause here to ask you a very important question. After everything you've heard about beetroot and garlic, which of these two foods do you feel most motivated to include in your diet starting today? I want you to stop for a minute, think about your current routine, and tell me here in the comments. Like this: I'm going to start with beetroot because, or I'm going to start with garlic because, and complete with your reason. It could be because you like the taste better, because you find it easier to prepare, or any other personal reason. This interaction is very important because when you publicly commit to a change, your chances of actually putting it into practice increase a lot. Besides, your answer can inspire other people who are going through the same situation as you. So don't be shy. Tell me down here which one you're going to try first. The third food that can revolutionize your blood pressure control is banana, but not for reasons you might imagine. Many people know that bananas have potassium, but few really understand how this mineral works in blood pressure control, especially in people over 60. Potassium works as a sodium balancer in our body. When we consume too much salt, our body retains more fluid to dilute this excess sodium, and this extra fluid increases the volume of circulating blood, consequently raising blood pressure. Potassium helps the kidneys eliminate excess sodium through urine, reducing fluid retention. Additionally, potassium has a direct effect on relaxing blood vessel walls, contributing to keeping them more flexible. For people over 60, this is especially important because, as I mentioned before, our vessels naturally become more rigid with age. A study conducted by Harvard University followed more than 40,000 people for 4 years and discovered that those who consumed at least 3 bananas per day had 21% less chance of developing high blood pressure and 27% less chance of having a stroke. Researchers also observed that bananas' protective effect was even greater in people over 65. The most effective way to consume bananas to control blood pressure isn't simply eating the fruit pure. There's a nutritional strategy that enhances its benefits. The ideal is to consume 2 to 3 bananas per day, distributed throughout the day, and always combined with other foods that favor potassium absorption. For example, you can make a banana smoothie with skim milk for breakfast. The calcium in milk helps with potassium absorption. In the afternoon snack, you can eat a banana with some Brazil nuts or almonds. The healthy fats in nuts also favor nutrient utilization from bananas. And at the end of the day, you can consume mashed banana with a little oats. Oat fiber helps maintain stable blood sugar levels, avoiding insulin spikes that can interfere with blood pressure control. A very important tip: choose bananas that are ripe but not too soft. Ripe bananas have higher potassium concentration, but when they're too soft, they've already lost part of their nutrients. The ideal banana is one that's yellow with some brown spots, but still firm to the touch. Now that you know the 3 most powerful foods to control blood pressure in people over 60, I need to teach you how to combine them to get maximum benefits. It's no use consuming the 3 foods anyway. There's a specific strategy that enhances each one's effects. The first thing you need to understand is about timing. Beetroot should be consumed preferably in the morning because the peak nitrate absorption happens between 2 to 4 hours after consumption, coinciding with the period when our blood pressure naturally tends to rise, which is mid-morning. Garlic can be consumed with lunch or dinner, always remembering the process of letting it rest 10 minutes after crushing. And bananas should be distributed throughout the day, 1 at breakfast, 1 at afternoon snack, and 1 after dinner. This distribution ensures you have a constant supply of potassium, keeping sodium balance stable throughout the day. Another important strategy is creating a routine. Our body responds better when we maintain regular schedules, so try to consume each food always at the same time of day. There's also a way to combine the 3 foods in a single, very powerful preparation. You can make a juice I call controlled pressure juice. To prepare, you'll need 1 medium beetroot, 1 ripe banana, 1 small garlic clove, 200 ml of water, and a little ginger for flavor. First, crush the garlic and let it rest for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, wash the beetroot well, peel and cut into pieces. Peel the banana and cut it too. After 10 minutes with the garlic, put all ingredients in the blender. Blend well and strain. This juice concentrates the benefits of the 3 foods and can be consumed once a day, preferably in the morning. The taste might be a bit strong at first, but you can sweeten with a little honey or add some lemon drops. Many people who follow this recipe report improvement in blood pressure levels in less than a month. Remember that this juice doesn't replace your medications, but can be an excellent complement to your treatment. It's fundamental that you understand these 3 foods work best when they're part of a healthy lifestyle as a whole. It's no use consuming beetroot, garlic, and bananas, but continuing to eat too much salt, excess sugar, or leading a sedentary life. For people over 60, some simple changes in routine can greatly enhance these foods' effects. First, gradually, reduce the amount of salt in food. Instead of common salt, try natural seasonings like herbs, lemon, onion, and pepper. Second, increase water consumption. Many seniors don't feel thirsty frequently, but adequate hydration is fundamental for proper kidney function and blood pressure control. Third, practice some light physical activity, even if it's just a 20-minute walk per day. Exercise helps keep blood vessels flexible and the heart strong. Fourth, maintain quality sleep. During sleep, our body produces hormones that help regulate blood pressure. I need to alert you about some situations where you should be especially careful. If you already take medications for high blood pressure, it's very important to talk with your doctor before including large amounts of these foods in your diet. Although they're natural, they can interact with some medications, especially those called ACE inhibitors or calcium channel blockers. Garlic, for example, can enhance the effect of anticoagulant medications. Beetroot can interfere with absorption of some medicines if consumed very close to medication time. And bananas, being rich in potassium, can be problematic for people taking potassium-sparing medications. This doesn't mean you can't consume these foods, just that you should do it with medical guidance to adjust doses if necessary. Always remember that the goal is to complement your treatment, not replace it. I want to share with you some important signs that indicate these foods are working in your body. In the first 2 weeks, you might notice you're urinating a little more. This is normal and indicates your kidneys are eliminating excess sodium. After a month of regular consumption, many people report feeling less swollen, especially in legs and ankles. This happens because fluid retention decreases. You might also notice you have more energy and disposition, because when blood pressure is more controlled, the heart doesn't need to work as hard. Some people also notice they sleep better, as high blood pressure can cause nighttime awakenings. Most important of all is to regularly monitor your blood pressure at home, if possible. Write down the values in a notebook, along with what you ate and how you felt. This way you can show your doctor, and they can adjust your treatment according to results. Remember that each person responds differently, so be patient and consistent. I'll tell you the story of Mrs. Maria, a 68-year-old lady who came to me a few months ago with uncontrolled blood pressure. She was taking 2 different medications, but the numbers remained high, varying between 160/100 and 180/110. Additionally, she complained of frequent headaches, leg swelling, and constant fatigue. Mrs. Maria was very skeptical about natural treatments, but decided to try out of desperation. We started implementing only beetroot, 1 glass of juice per day, always in the morning. In the first 2 weeks, she didn't notice big changes, but continued following the guidance. In the 3rd week, she called me excited, saying her blood pressure had dropped to 145/95. It was a small improvement, but significant. Then we added garlic to the routine, 1 clove per day with lunch. 2 more weeks passed, and blood pressure was at 140/90. Finally, we included bananas, 2 per day. After 2 months following this routine religiously, Mrs. Maria had her blood pressure stabilized between 130/85 and 135/88. Her doctor was impressed and was able to reduce one of the medications. Today, 6 months later, she maintains controlled blood pressure and says she feels younger and more energetic. What impresses me most about Mrs. Maria's story isn't just the blood pressure numbers, but how her quality of life improved. She went back to morning walks she had abandoned because of fatigue. She resumed ballroom dancing classes she did with her husband. And most importantly, she lost the constant fear of having a cardiovascular complication. This reminds me that controlling blood pressure isn't just about numbers. It's about living with tranquility and enjoying each day to the fullest. Mrs. Maria always says the hardest part was believing something so simple could work. And she's right. We live in a society that makes us think only complicated and expensive solutions can solve our health problems. But the truth is, our body was made to heal and balance itself when we offer the right nutrients in adequate amounts. For you who are just starting this journey of natural blood pressure control, I want you to understand that the first days might be challenging. Maybe you'll forget to drink beetroot juice or spend a day without eating bananas. This is normal and part of the process of creating new habits. The secret isn't being perfect, it's being consistent. It's better to consume these foods 5 days a week than to try every day and give up in the 2nd week. Start slowly, include 1 food at a time in your routine. In the 1st week, focus only on beetroot. When this becomes automatic, add garlic. And lastly, bananas. This gradual approach has much better chances of success than trying to change everything at once. And don't be so hard on yourself. If one day you eat pizza or a hamburger, it doesn't mean you ruined all your progress. The next day, return to your healthy routine and move forward. I also want you to understand that there are other factors beyond diet that greatly influence blood pressure control, especially for people over 60. Stress is one of the biggest villains. When we're stressed, our body produces hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which make the heart beat faster and vessels contract. That's why it's important to find healthy ways to deal with daily tensions. It can be through breathing techniques, meditation, prayer, or simply doing activities that give you pleasure. Another important issue is body weight. Each extra pound represents additional effort for the heart. If you're above ideal weight, including these 3 foods in your diet can help not only with blood pressure control, but also with weight loss, as they're rich in fiber and nutrients that promote satiety. Sleep quality is also fundamental. During deep sleep, our blood pressure naturally decreases, giving the cardiovascular system a rest. If you have difficulty sleeping, it's worth investigating the causes and seeking solutions. An aspect I consider very important, and that's often neglected, is social support. Having family and friends who support your lifestyle changes makes a huge difference in treatment success. Talk to people close to you about your decision to control blood pressure naturally. Ask them to help you remember food schedules, or even prepare recipes together with you. Often, the whole family ends up benefiting. from these dietary changes. If you live alone, consider joining groups of people your age who are also seeking a healthier life. There are groups in community centers, churches, or even online. The important thing is not to feel alone on this journey. Remember that taking care of your health isn't a sacrifice, it's an investment in your future and your independence. Before wrapping up, I want to give you some practical tips to make consuming these foods easier and more enjoyable in daily life. For beetroot, if you don't like the pure juice taste, try making popsicles with juice mixed with fruits like apple or orange. You can freeze in molds and always have a healthy and refreshing snack. Another option is to grate raw beetroot and add to colorful salads. For garlic, if strong breath is a problem, chew some coffee beans or mint leaves after consumption. Coffee neutralizes garlic odor. You can also make ice cubes with processed garlic and use as needed. For bananas, try making healthy cakes, smoothies with other fruits, or even baked banana with cinnamon, which is delicious and concentrates nutrients even more. Kitchen creativity can transform natural treatment into gastronomic pleasure. It's also important for you to know about the quality of these foods. Whenever possible, prefer organic products, especially for beetroot and garlic. Pesticides can interfere with the benefits these foods offer. If you can't buy organic, wash the foods very well and, in beetroot's case, always remove the skin. To better preserve nutrients, store beetroot in the refrigerator wrapped in damp paper towel. Garlic should stay in a dry and airy place, never in the refrigerator, as this can make it sprout or mold. Bananas should stay at room temperature until they ripen, and then can go to the refrigerator to last longer. When the skin darkens in the refrigerator, don't worry, the pulp remains good for several days. These simple cares ensure you make the most of all, benefits from these powerful foods. We've reached the end of this content, but I hope for you, it's the beginning of a new phase in your life, where you feel in control of your blood pressure and your health as a whole. The 3 foods I presented today, beetroot, garlic, and banana, are powerful tools that nature offers us to take care of our cardiovascular system. They're not miraculous, but when consumed correctly and consistently, they can make a significant difference in your quality of life. Always remember that you don't need to face hypertension alone. Besides these foods, count on your doctors, monitoring, your family's support, and the strength that comes from knowing you're doing your best for your health. If this content was useful to you, if it gave you hope and practical information you can really use in your daily life, I ask you to show it by clicking the like button down here. This simple action helps me understand I'm on the right track and motivates me to continue producing content that really makes a difference in people's lives. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, because every week I bring new information about natural health, always. Thinking about people like you who want to age with dignity and vitality. And tell me here in the comments, which of these 3 foods are you going to start including in your diet today? I'm eager to know about your journey, and who knows, in a few months you might be able to share with us the positive results you achieved. Your story can inspire other people going through the same situation. Until the next video, and remember, your health is in your hands, and every healthy choice you make today is an investment in tomorrow.